What it do, folks? What it do? How are you? What's it? Tuesday, January. What was it? 18th.
Yes,
Team don't
sir. Half of
sleep.
the month. Yeah, we already went. We almost 1 month in on
Almost.
New Year.
You know,
Yeah,
it's almost Black History Month. We made it through January almost. A lot of stuff is going on in the sports world today, brother. We got a
yes, sir.
lot of topics. We were sorry for being a few minutes late, folks. We were reshuffling because the news is the news. And
Yes, sir.
we've got definitely got some more impact stories to talk about as opposed to just the fun and games. We're gonna talk about everything as much as we possibly can. Let's go and get right into it. I see folks that are jumping in, so appreciate y'all for jumping in. If you got a question for me and Montel, definitely put a Q in front of it so we can respond to it. But let's talk about from a social impact perspective. Um, Coaching diversity, right?
Yes.
And the or maybe I should have put it the word lack of coaching
Mhm.
diversity, especially
Yeah.
as it relates to the NFL. A lot of teams. First of all, a lot of teams are looking for new coaches, new head coaches
hmm
with the
hmm
season coming to an end. We got. We know the Raiders are looking for somebody new. We know.
Which pause on that one. I don't
Okay.
know why they're looking for a new coach. I mean,
Well,
that guy's in
again,
a
they need to take
yeah,
that interim off of his name because that
yeah.
man
That
did his
interim needs to
thing.
come off his name.
Yeah.
He did a wonderful job to keep those guys under all the duress they were under
Yeah.
as a program. He kept that team together. They fought a good fight. Let's be honest with you; they were one play away from advancing in the playoffs.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
so for them to now to not take that interim off there and having a coaching search, I don't really understand that philosophy, what direction they're going in. But I believe that the guy they have there now is the right guy for their program. Hopefully, and he's I believe he's Latino or Latino,
Yeah.
excuse me,
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
Latino
Yeah.
Latino brother. So I
Yeah.
believe that's a definitely good look for them. They're in a good market in Las Vegas. It has a high Latino population,
Look.
especially surrounded by Phoenix and LA.
It,
LA Raider fans. We
just
also know
it
our
just makes
Latino,
sense,
yeah, our
right?
Latino brothers support the Raiders like no other. Our Latino
Yes.
brothers really support the Raiders. So I don't see why it's not a perfect fit for them. It looks like he knows his X's and O's. So
Look.
kind of disappointed. To be honest with you, I'm disappointed in the Raiders even putting that out there. I thought they should have took that interim off and made him the head coach and gave him a shot, see what he
Yeah.
could do.
Yeah. Hopefully they do because again they look better than a lot of other teams that made it even a little bit further in the wild card than they did.
Mm-hmm.
But so we got Raiders, we got the Vikings, Bears, Jaguars, Broncos, Giants, and the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
All are looking for head coaches, and as of late last week, so are the Houston Texans.
Yes.
Which that one along with the Dolphins just baffles me. Right, those firings from a head coach perspective, they didn't even give the coach any opportunity to succeed. I mean, my guy out there in Houston, he's got a third string quarterback. He's got no stars left. Right, Watt left, and Deshaun is not playing, so he didn't even have really opportunity to have. I'm gonna say quality. All of them are professional athletes, but just to have someone that can suit up and actually vie for something, he didn't even give the opportunity. They made it sound good at the beginning when they hired him, but then to fire him at the end of the season just didn't seem right. But in terms of
Yeah.
minority, um, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, no, I was just saying with the Texans, that's just unfair. He got the unfair
Yeah, yeah,
draw to stick. I mean, like you said, I mean he's working. He's not working with a lot. He thought they thought they would have Deshaun Watson there, who was a franchise player, who obviously wasn't because he's going through that legal battle and those accusations going with him. So for him not to be there, and for them to be like you said on their third string quarterback, beat up offensive line, no running backs there, um, and to ask this man to be able to, I don't know what they wanted him to do. I mean, what did you want him to do? Make the playoffs or something like that in order for him to keep his job? Obviously, he was trying to build a culture there, but he's building a culture there with a lot of missing pieces.
yeah.
Um, so my question for them is like, why did you hire him? In the first place, if you were only going to give him 1 year, why'd you even hire him in the first place if you didn't give him an opportunity to build? And I think the Texans need to ask that. I think that whole organization right now, they're in a spiteful mode. They're still mad at Deshaun Watson.
Yes,
They've been
yeah,
mad at Deshaun since day one, since he said he wanted to leave. But I remember also one of Deshaun Watson's requests is that he wanted to have an African American coach. They hired an African American coach, but then Deshaun is not there, and then you fire him after 1 year. So that means you didn't really have no intent on keeping the African American coach, or at least keeping him for any amount of time. And now that whole organization is just in shambles. It seems like I don't think they know what direction they want to go into.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I'm highlighting here again what the organization said when they hired him. Right, Cully was our guy. And bring him in. It's all the pomp and circumstance. Welcome to the team. You're going to come in here. You're going to make a difference. You're going to have positive impact. You're going to do all of those good statements. But again, to not give the man to not put any tools in his toolbox, and expect him to go out there and fight against someone like, I don't know, you got to play the Rams, you got to play the Buccaneers, you got to play the Packers, you got to play all these teams with seasoned veterans, and all you've got. I mean, again, you got professional athletes, but you just don't have those star athletes. You don't have the J.J. Watt anymore. You don't have Deshaun Watson. You don't have folks that could go out there and really make a difference, and it's just unfortunate that they let him go like that.
Yeah, like I mean, we're talking about the social impact. So I mean, you hired him for the wrong reasons. Obviously, it looks like, and since you didn't hire him for the wrong reasons, now you're impacting the whole organization, and it kind of puts. I mean, to me, the Texans are just like I said, they're in shambles. I don't understand what direction they're going in. You didn't want to get rid of Deshaun. You know, he got these charges brought up on him out of nowhere when all of a sudden he said he wanted to leave, and we talked about this before.
Yep.
You know. The organization should have. They had an idea. They should have known. They should have reported that and nipped that in the bud. He wants to leave. You want to hire a black coach to kind of keep him along there. Now he decides he's sitting out. He's not playing anyway. Or you guys keep him out for the season because you want to see if you can trade him, if you can get what you want for him. That's not there. Now this guy gets fired in the end. Cully, who, from what I understand in this NFL circle, he's a good coach. Not necessarily, I don't know if he was qualified to be a head coach, and this is why I say that. Most head coaches right now have been coordinators. He's been most of a position coach most of his career.
Okay, good point.
Most coaches are coordinators. Not saying that he's not. I shouldn't say he's not qualified. I'm just saying he's not the ideal hiring this new coach as of right now. They're mostly coordinators.
Yeah,
he was a guy, obviously a people player. Players loved him because he was a position coach. He made an impact, obviously, on various teams wherever he's been. And they felt he was qualified enough to do this job. And to be honest with you, I don't think he did a bad job. You know, like you said, with the pieces he's working with.
What was it? They ended up 4 and they won 4 games. Right? Yeah, they won 4 games.
Yeah, you won 4 games. I mean, but let's be honest with you. A guy that had what the great Urban Meyer couldn't do nothing.
Oh,
with the Jaguars.
Goodness, you talk about Urban. Yeah, well.
If we want to compare and contrast, he did a better job than Urban Meyer did, right?
Yeah,
they both had no pieces
and didn't get caught slipping at somebody's nightclub.
He wasn't off the field issues.
Yeah.
He's not working with anything. Urban Meyer's actually had more pieces than he did and did less. Good point. What does that say about the great Urban Meyer? They're talking about? Well, they didn't give this guy a chance.
Yeah.
It just kind of just feels. I don't know, man. It just, like I said, I don't know for what reason why they hired him. If you were going to let him go in 1 year, why would you even hire him? I mean, that's not building the program. That's basically just filling in the blank for 1 year. And to me, that's almost like just taking fans' money. Or would you gonna put somebody in that place? You know, they could have hired me and you.
Yeah,
that's the case.
Yeah, we could have came off street, and it doesn't really help with the synergy. I think within the locker room. Again, when you bring someone in who's got a program, who's got a routine, and they come in, right. Head coaches come in with their assistants, so they come in with their folks, so they can run the OC and the D's and the defensive line and all those kind of things. Now it's all shaken up until next year.
I think a bigger problem: what coach is going to take that job now? These guys are in the professional world. I mean, there'll be somebody that takes that job, but let's be honest, like, who really is going to want to take that job? I mean, hey, you're not even giving guys a chance to build the program, much less anything. And right now, if you don't have your ace in the hole, which is Deshaun Watson, what are we here doing? You're not trading him for picks. You're not giving me an opportunity to get a bunch of picks and build from the ground up. You're basically having me just fill in. So I think they'll have a harder time finding that head coach. I hope Eric Bieniemy or Leftwich or Raheem Moore, I hope they don't take this job. I really don't, because we don't know what's going on in Texas. We don't know what direction they're going in, and the organization has refused to speak about it. It's just funny to me, and I'll talk about more of a social impact, and I'll just how I'm looking at it. Yeah. It seems like it's so much African American head coach or African American male has to prove himself 10 times more than his counterpart. that's Caucasian in order to sustain this job. I've never heard of a guy being hired for 1 year, not getting a chance to do anything, and then let go. This is kind of like precedence in the NFL, or setting a new standard, which we've never ever had ever. They mostly give guys at least 2 or 3 years to try something, or they mess up in 1 year, like Urban Meyer. They do something very wrong that's not right for the organization.
Yeah, they just completely fall off the wagon, right? So and something like him, but that really makes sense. Yeah. Shouts out to everyone in the comments, Laura. Good to see you. We are back. Ralph Chambers, good to see you, brother. Appreciate you. Glad you're here as well. Let me bring this tweet up here because it kind of goes into kind of the statements that we were just talking about, right? Eric Bieniemy. So in the media, in the sports rags, and in the known sports rags, they're talking about Kellen Moore, who we can talk about them Cowboys all we want to, and we can make a lot of people mad or whatever, or you can just look at what Dak Prescott. We can look at what the whole team did the other day and just say that was just embarrassing. And that man has 0 playoff wins, but he's getting more recognition, more praise, more looks at than someone like an Eric Bieniemy who has the wins underneath his belt, who has the ring in his closet, right? Who actually has all of that experience. And if Eric Bieniemy does not get offered a job at a quality squad, that's a huge injustice to
I think
the sports world.
It's blasphemy amongst African American coaches that want to be head coaches, that are inspiring to be head coaches.
Yeah,
it's straight blasphemy. It makes no sense. Don't get me wrong. Kellen may be a great OC. He might be. I don't know. But if we're going to go by track records, Bieniemy and Byron Leftwich are way more qualified than him.
Yes.
They have done it. They've been to the Super Bowl. They both have won Super Bowls. They both have had the number 1 offenses in the league. They both have quality wins, not even in the regular season, but in the playoffs. Doing things, and they can say all they want, but we speaking straight records. Both of those guys have a better quality record than this guy has.
Yeah.
But yet this guy right here is getting. They're talking about he has the pick of his litter, whatever job he wants, out of to be the next head coach. Again, we got to prove ourselves 10 times more than our counterparts in order to get the head jobs, and especially for not to get the head job, to sustain the head job.
Correct. Because you're right. One year, 1 and out does not seem like a quality formula for anyone's success. To be honest with you, right? And regardless of who it is and where you try to put that person, even if you took the coach out of the Packers or one of the contenders, right? Someone who's going to win the bowl at the end, and just did 1 year out and start shuffling players or shuffling coaches back and forth. Again, how is that synergy going to work when you got those OBJs and when you got those Aaron Rodgers and when you got those veterans and they're trying to work around a system and you move head coaches out, you move offensive coordinators out, you move defensive coordinators out. There's no synergy. There's no.
Well, I mean,
the locker room just doesn't feel right.
More than synergy, there's a race issue in the NFL. Let's
well, because there's only one now, right? We only got one. We only got my Steelers. We only got Tomlin in the building right now. So
there's a race issue in the NFL. They don't mind us playing and snapping the ball and catching the ball and running the ball.
Talk about that.
But obviously they have a problem with us leading the program or leading the organization under the head coaching room. And we already know the front office. We don't exist that much in the front office at all. Maybe I know there was the Baltimore guys have African American there and a few other sprinkle teams out of here, about 30. But there's nowhere that is an indicative representation of what's on the field that's in the front office.
Yeah.
But let's stick with head coaches. There is a race issue in the NFL. It's blasphemy to only. You mean to tell me there's only one qualified African American male to lead a team?
How many teams we got? How many teams we got?
Yeah, we out of 30 teams.
We got 32 teams in the NFL, and we got one.
Yeah. Out of Miami, I don't know what they're doing. It seems like that coach seemed like they turned around. They won the last 4 games in a row. The defense was on point. Tua finally looked like he was Tua, the draft pick that they've been looking for. He's developing him, and now all of a sudden, now you fire him. Raheem Morris can't get a job. Who won it in the other league, I believe in the XFL. Been a great coordinator for I don't know how long in the league. He can't get one. We got Eric Bieniemy, who we've been fighting for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, we've been talking about him for a minute. Yeah.
Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator over there at Tampa Bay, as well as the offensive coordinator, Brian Leftwich, both deserve jobs. Frazier deserves a job. I mean, there's a lot of quality guys that got great resumes. It's a shame that we got guys with great resumes that have to resort now to go to college. And this is where I'm going with, like Hugh Jackson. There's
Okay.
no reason in the world why Hugh Jackson should not be a coach in the NFL.
Yeah.
His resume speaks volumes for itself, but yet he can't get offered a great job in the NFL, or at least it doesn't perceive like he's getting a great job in the NFL. So he has to take the Grambling State job. Marvin Lewis, another great coach, has been in the league for a long time. Can't get the job in the NFL, so he's at Arizona State. Lovie Smith is still in. I'm not a fan of Lovie Smith at all. Not really particular. Lovie Smith is with the Texans, but I'm sure since now that what's name is gone, that whole staff is gone.
True. Yeah.
So now we're losing assistant coaches and whatnot, and so on and so on. So I'm finding there's a race problem in the NFL. Period. There's a race when it comes to leading. People don't want to talk about the elephant in the room, but there's one there. Trust me, there is one there.
Yeah, well, and I like that analogy that you make, the elephant in the room, but unfortunately we're not in that room, even during the Roger Goodell conversations when it goes to the owners meeting, because we're not represented at that level either.
Yeah,
right.
And
so
ownership, absolutely.
So somebody has to be in that room to really stand up in front of that conference room and make that recommendation, make that suggestion that it gets on the agenda. No one.
Well, it seems real crazy how that Jay-Z talk show did slow down.
That's true. Yeah, right.
I mean, in the beginning when we was having all these things and they were losing a lot of African American fans and all that. Oh, Jay-Z's gonna be an owner. That shorty quiet down real quick.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, no one's talking about that anymore. That's not even the subject anymore.
Well,
so
we won't let Jay-Z own it. Well, no, not me. They won't let Jay-Z own the team, but halftime show. Sure, at the Super Bowl, sure is Dre and Snoop and it's us. Yeah. We're out there running the field, but we are also providing the entertainment, unfortunately. So it's really unfortunate that we can't be in any of those front rooms to make any real decisions, and hopefully that changes sometime soon.
Can you still hear me or see me? It looked like my screen froze. Did it freeze?
Your screen did freeze, but we can definitely hear you.
Okay, well y'all got the screenshot because I don't know what happened. Y'all can hear the voice now. The voice is gonna be there, but I'm serious, man. I mean, the Jay-Z they didn't cut off my internet now that I talk about.
It's normally me talking bad about folks, and they didn't came after you. Lord have mercy.
But I mean, for real though, let's be perfectly honest with it, man. I mean, I don't understand. That ownership talk died down. Mm-hmm. We obviously got a race problem at the head coach's realm, or us leading teams, or us being the face of the franchise, except the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
We have issues in front office with us building teams and representing teams, and it's trickled down. It's not only in the NFL level, it's also down in college level, which they've been addressing that as well, and so on and so on. But like you spoke before, there obviously is a big disconnect with ownership.
Yeah.
We have no black owners in the NFL. I don't even know if we have any black minority owners in the NFL because they would advertise them.
That is a good question. That is a good question. I mean, especially, and I'm just going to. Why don't we do this? Let me continue on that discussion and ask the audience if they have any feedback while you're having these video issues. Why don't you reboot, come back, and I'll take you off screen, and we'll have that. So I mean, that's an interesting statement, right? Again, the NFL has always tried to be, or seemingly wanting to be, proactive, right, in terms of social impact issues, social rights, and letting players represent and talk about particular issues that are happening within society. But if we're not in those rooms, if we're not in the conference room making and helping make any of those decisions, if we are given a half-baked opportunity, like the coach over in Houston, not really given any tools in our toolbox, not given any real assistance to or longevity, because after one season he gets fired. What really does that say about the culture? What really does that say about the organization? And why do we, as the majority viewers of this bit of entertainment, continue to support it, right? There were issues that we had with the Kaepernick, right, with the kneeling, and a lot of us said, you know what, I'm not watching the NFL anymore. I'm through with the NFL. I'm moving over to soccer. I'm moving over to baseball, or whatever the case may be. But then we matriculate. We come back. What is it? What's the draw? Why do we continue to see and know that there are issues within this organization in terms of fairness, in terms of equality, in terms of true diversity? But why do we continue to support, especially with our dollar? I'd love to see folks respond in the comments while we wait for Montel to come back. JP, I see you, brother. Yeah, next year we already got the dates. I will definitely take you to CES next year. We'll be in Vegas. I'm actually heading to NAB in was it March? So we'll be back in Vegas for the National Association of Broadcasters. So if you want to come, just let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Laura Williams, I see you come and you're talking about habit, but that's a habit that we need to break. Right. Again, we really are, I think, the foundation of all of these bits and pieces of entertainment. Right. We pay with our dollars from either going to the games, going to the events, subscribing to the NFL, what is it, the Red Zone, and subscribing to all these ancillary services because we want to see the game. We love the game. Right. A lot of us have either played the game or we've got family members who have played the game, whatever the case may be. But when you really step back and you step above and you start getting out of the noise, because that's really what we're looking at doing here, right? Is talking about the social impact of all of these things, especially as they relate to sports. It's not just about the guys that are out there running up, or the ladies and the men that are out there running up and down the field, running up and down the court, hitting the ball, jumping in the hoop, doing all of that stuff. If they're not properly represented either from a players union, if they're not properly represented from an equality of pay, so I think about the whole Title IX, especially with the women's soccer leagues and things of that nature. I mean, that issue needs to be addressed. I think about how we're starting off and leading today's topics and conversations about lack of diversity from a coaching perspective. Hopefully we get a coach in the NFL before. I'd love to have an owner too, but I'm being realistic here, right? I think we're going to we'll get a head coach again before we get anyone in the owner circle. And my lowly Steelers, we still have Mike Tomlin in there, but again, out of 32 teams, only 1%, one person really is not making a lot of noise when there's a whole lot of other folks screaming. So. Walter Strong, I see you, sir. NFL are only comfortable with just a small percentage of black head coaches and not allowing coaches of color to coach at their big market teams. That's an interesting statement that you make because, again, we're looking at the teams that right now have openings. And, again, it's Giants, New York, Miami, Jacksonville, so Florida, Denver, Minnesota Vikings, historic team, Chicago. Oakland still has their interim tag on the coach, so we will see. Oh, look like Montel's come back, but he's come back with the smartphone. Oh my goodness! Rotate that landscape, sir. Rotate that landscape before I bring that. Oh shoot! Hold on. Take the lock off. Oh, you're an Android man, though, aren't you? See, one of them Android dudes. And you're on mute. So take the mute off and I'll bring you on the screen. You mess around and you start talking about coaches in the NFL and they done turned off his internet. They done broke his computer. I see you now, but I just need you to come off of mute, brother. Just need you to come off mute. That's right. Look, I'm hating on the Android folks, brother. Hating on them. I can't hear you, man. Can't hear you. I'm gonna bring you on the screen though, so folks can see. Now rotate, man. Rotate. No, hold on. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. Oh, I should have took a screen. Good Lord. Let me zoom you out there. Let me. Oh, there.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
What happened, man? What happened?
We good now?
What happened, man?
I don't know, man. To be honest with you,
CIA, FBI, somebody came to. You got to talking bad about the ownership levels of the NFL.
You know, it's crazy. I know, man. They got the FBI got me.
That's
what. but It says about it says, please grant access to your camera and microphone, and it's just thinking. I don't know what it's doing.
You see, Android and a PC user. I'm gonna send you a Mac Mini in the mail for your birthday.
Brother, man, I would love you for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a Mac Mini in the mail for your day.
All right, let's go.
Let's get back. Let's just get back to it. Let's go and get focused. Shouts out to the branding there for 2022. I appreciate you. I know you saw that, Mr. JP High Tech. Laura's talking about, so you struggle to break the habit because of the love of the game. So while you were gone, I was talking about, again, why do we continue support these organizations, to continue to support with our dollar when we know consciously that the representation isn't there, right? We're not in those rooms making the decisions, and it continues to be, and I'm reverted back to the Colin Kaepernick issue, right? When he was taking the knee, a lot of us said, including me, said, you know what, I'm done with the NFL. I'm done with football. I'm gonna switch over to another sport. I'm gonna start watching curling, bowling, all of that. But we came back.
And I think we did do that for a while. I think that's why we stuck in their pockets, and I think that's why they made some adjustments. Like they said, the halftime show is now going to be a show that represents us a little bit more with the halftime stuff. They're trying to do a little bit more, things with the interactive. I mean, as far as in our communities with, with a little police violence and stuff like that, they kind of throwing us bones. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, a leopard doesn't change its spots. We all know that.
Say that one more time.
Hey, they do not. And I mean, us as fans, I think the NFL is I mean, we're fans.
Right.
Let's be honest, 70%, 75% plus of us play. We're rooting them on. We're supporting them.
Yeah.
Not the structure of NFL.
Hold on. Let's pause, because that's a good point right there, right? Because while you were gone, I was talking about just us, the love of the game. Again, a lot of us have played the game, so we love the competition, but that's a whole different mindset and a whole different conversation. We're not just cheering for the game. We're cheering because it's us out there that are engaging in it, and it's us that are out there winning. It's us that are out there that are now the multimillionaires at 19, 20 years old, who, someone has come up out of the street. Now I'm stretching a little bit, but again, that's an interesting perspective that you put there, that's why we come back to sports and primarily the NFL. That's an interesting perspective.
Absolutely. I mean, we're supporting us. Like I said, we're not a big fan of the structure in the NFL and the way it's structured, and the people that are running it. But at the bottom line, I'm there supporting the brothers that's out there playing.
Wow.
Like you said, the brothers that's out there becoming millionaires and doing things in their communities, and the guys that are out there that are making a difference just in their families alone. Mm-hmm. They're changing generational wealth. That's one less kid in the hood. That's one less kid that's going to be a part of the system that's made it by playing a sport that he loved, and now he's a rich person.
That's what we're cheering for. I like that. Yeah.
I'd rather have that with a broken system than to have a fixed system and that's not existing.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's why I think we go back to the NFL. I think we'll pause on it a little bit. We'll be frustrated with it, but we continue to go back. And like you said, I don't think no one's talking about this stuff on no other station or other channel. But
you know who's gonna talk about it? Hey, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send you another text tonight at about midnight when I go to Del Taco after my gym, because that's just what I do. And I'm gonna find out that ESPN Radio. What's his name? Freddie, whatever, is talking about exactly what we talked about verbatim on his show. So, folks, that's what that happened last week. Identical and verbatim what we talked about. Literally 3 hours after our show, it was on ESPN Ready with Freddie Coleman, and everything that we said. I was like, man,
I think, but you know what? I hope Freddie Coleman does copy this. He needs to talk about the structure of the NFL. Why there's a break when it comes to racial equality.
Yeah, there's
an obvious break in it, and now that we kind of made up the numbers with the financial part.
Yeah,
but now we can't. It's funny, we can make the money, but we can't be investors in the money. We can't own a piece of it. We can't formulate our own structure, our own leadership within. It's like the good old boys club is very, very tight knit. And there's something wrong with that. But again, I'd rather be a part of an imperfect system, and it's helping helping us get up out of the situations they're in.
Yeah,
than support a perfect system that would cut that off. You know what I mean? So, the NFL, I think that's why we as fans keep returning to it, especially men of color or people of color. even though they boycotted for a while, they go back to it because one is just a great sport, and then two, we want to go back and support our own.
We want to see us come up, and
and
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong.
No.
I like this statement too. I don't know if I put it up already, but Laura said, letter to owners campaign during Black History Month. So I mean, now it's just it's too bad, and it's unfortunate that we still have to have these conversations, but we still do. And you know what? We're going to use this podium. We're going to use this platform here come February 1st to still talk about this. Mr. Ralph Chambers had a great statement here. In my opinion, we should continue to press the issue of representation and ownership. Why should we retreat from the entertainment and sports we make great?
I agree. 100%. That's 100%.
That's it right there. Right.
But the only thing about that, and I mean, let's keep the pressure on. We got to make sure there's a crack in the ceiling, a crack in the door, so we can kick it down. And right now, they're not open. They're not cracking the door at all for us. The 32 owners are owning it. They're not letting minority ownership in. Like I said, I remember the Jay-Z thing was like a huge thing. He was going to buy the Denver Broncos with his group, and this was going to be something different, and he was going to be a spokesperson for the NFL and all these wonderful things that Jay-Z was supposed to be doing for the NFL. And that's
because now they're talking about Elway and Manning. Right, two separate groups going in, so that's where the focus is on that. Is no more Jay-Z, but you know what? If you want Jay-Z, you can come and you can perform with with Dre at the halftime show.
Again, we're good enough to be Sambo, right? We're good enough to shuck and jive in front of y'all and entertain y'all, but we're not good enough to own.
Ooh.
That mentality, man, needs to be broken at some point. And it's crazy because basketball has done it, right? Basketball's done it. They've broken the mold.
Yes.
I don't know so much. Baseball's done it with Afro-Latinos, which is great.
Yes.
They've broken the mold to allow them to be minority owners. NFL still, the good old boy club has not let that happen. That transaction happen. So at some point, those discussions need to be happening. I think it needs to start with the Players Association. They need to really put pressure on the NFL saying, look, you guys need to start allowing minority ownership or ownership of some of these teams and cutting that lane for us to get involved. I mean, they act like we don't know how to discuss business or discuss marketing or discuss things. And we have enough guys that are billionaires and millionaires that can go in there and have enough money to be able to make a powerful influence as well. I mean, the African American, the men of color dollar. I'm not just saying African American, Polynesians, Hispanics, Black, Filipinos, so on and so on. Our dollar is very, very powerful. So why shouldn't we have a representation in there for that?
Folks, if you didn't know, if this is your first time tuning in, Team No Sleep, we talk about the social impact of sport. You notice I haven't said, or Martel had said, what one score is yet. We 2 minutes in, we got straight to the chase, and sometimes we get raw, but it's that awkward conversation because again, no one is really having it. Just like you said, some folks may try to perpetrate and try to imitate, but tell somebody where it started. We really gonna get into it right now. We're gonna move off of football for a minute, sticking with social impact conversations. I worry about this right here. So not the coaching diversity one, but minority owner for the Golden State Warriors. That's the man's name right there. I'm not even going to try to butcher his name out of respect. I'm not going to do it, but that is the man's name right there. He has said some things on a podcast recently that he knows better. So the team is distancing themselves from him. Everyone around the organization is working to distance themselves from him. So essentially what has happened is this billionaire minority owner for the Golden State Warriors under fire for saying nobody cares about the Uyghurs in China. And I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. The team is distancing itself from saying that. And the Uyghurs are a Muslim minority population in northwest China who essentially are going through what a lot of countries, a lot of regions are classifying as genocide, right? Crimes against humanity against these people. And during this podcast that this gentleman was on, the All In podcast, he is essentially saying, I don't care about this. This is not something that I'm worried about. And let me tell you what the man looked like. So this is the man right here. He just as brown as Montel and I am. And that one shouldn't matter. But again, just to be so insensitive and to say something like that when you are a person of influence, when you are a minority owner of a large sports franchise and sports organization, you know your words are going to carry. You got to be ashamed of yourself, and you really got to step back and think, where is this man's team? Where is this man's public relations and coaching when he goes on to a media show and starts talking? Talk to us a little bit about what you think about this. Again, this man who has come out and made these I'm just gonna call them blasphemous statements out here.
I think he suffered from privilege. And I ain't gonna say white privilege, that's a quote, but this ain't white privilege, this is a privilege. He suffered from privilege. He's a billionaire. You know, what he can't relate to, he basically shuns away or he disregards, which I would feel a man of color and, any struggles he's went through just because of his color coming to the United States, because I know he's faced some type of racial tension, no matter how rich he is, going to school or going to work or whatever. He should have a lot more sensitive situation to what's going on over there. And I think if people aren't aware of what's going on over there, these are basically, like he said, the genocide actions of concentration camps, basically set up all around China where these people are housed, where the women and children are being pillaged, they're being raped, they're being, tortured, they're being, they're being refused access to their religion, they're being, their ideologies are being taken away from them. A whole bunch of bad things are going on over there, and for him to be disregarded to it, or even to make that insensitive statement, is just, like you said, blasphemous. I mean,
it's horrible.
Where do you have the right to say that about human beings? Because at the end of the day, you strip your dollars away, we all bleed red, we all have skin, we all have hair.
It's true.
With the same people in the world. You just got to happen to have just a little bit more money than the average person. And that's fine. But even if those are your opinions, then keep them to yourself. Those are things that you don't say on the media. Those things you don't.
I mean, again, you should have coaching. You should have a team before you sit down and make any statement. Again, if you're representing someone, but I don't.
It's just a shame he has an ideology, man. It's sad that he has that ideology about those things. I mean, I think that's terrible.
And that's truly how he feels. And I guess I keep leading back to this. So here is his recanting statement, his apology. I think he's only apologizing because he's got caught. Right. Yeah. In re-listening to this week's podcast, I recognize that I come across as lacking empathy. I acknowledge that entirely. As a refugee, my family fled a country with its own set of human rights issues. So this is something that is very much a part of my lived experience. To be clear, my belief is that human rights matter, whether in China, the United States, or elsewhere. Full stop. Hindsight is 2020, and when you when you find out you done messed up.
Yeah. Great PR statement, but I mean, like I just said before, a leopard doesn't change his spots.
Yeah.
He goes back to go back to say some other insensitive things, very disregarded things. I mean, it's a shame that we have this way where we just ignore humanity. I mean, basic human rights that we're supposed to have. And I know things are different in various countries, but basic human rights are to be able to walk and be free, right?
Right.
These people are captive. People should be able to practice their religion. They won't longer start hurting anybody. They're not allowed to do that. Women and children are being pillaged and raped. A woman should have the rights to choose what she wants to do and not be forced to do anything. These are basic human rights that we feel, and they're being taken away from these people in these concentration camps. And for someone of his nature, his financial situation that can change a lot of things, to bring awareness to the situation, he acts like an asshole and he says some insensitive things.
Mm-hmm.
So, rightfully so, to distance himself. I hope he does have some empathy. I hope he does. But to be honest with you, I doubt it. It's not touching him. His day goes on the same no matter what. He's privileged.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect him. So
and it's unfortunate because we a lot of times we talk about this, right? And we say this can't still be happening in 2000, 2005, 2009, 2020, 2022. And yet and still it is. And yet and still there's folks making bonehead statements like this. And you just wonder what makes you think that something like that coming out your mouth is right? What makes you think that something referencing other human beings, and again, if you're gonna come out with a statement that says my family has been through very similar, how you gonna fix your mouth to say something negative like that about another person who is going through struggle, going through strife, going through torture? Again,
But
genocide,
I think
crimes against humanity.
I think you go in a whole different realm. Let's just talk about locally. If you feel that way about something that's going on so humane there, how do you feel about those people that's in Oakland that's homeless?
Uh-oh.
What about those people that are right around in your corner that
Uh-huh.
support you, that are wearing your gear, walking around, that don't really have a nickel to sit on? What about those people? What about the people who can barely afford to rent in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
What about them? No, you disregard them too. Their struggle's not as bad as what's going on in China, but they are going through a struggle. So if you're disregarding that struggle, I can imagine you disregarding the struggle
Wow.
that the people are going through in your own city that you're supposed to represent and be about. We already know San Francisco and Oakland have one of the highest homeless rates in the nation.
That whole
Right?
area. Look, I used to take the train from Sacramento to Santa Clara, and I'd pass through Berkeley, I'd pass through
Yeah.
Oakland, I'd pass through Richmond, I'd pass through all of those areas, and a lot of times the homeless live right
Off
on the
the train,
train
right off the
tracks,
train.
right on
Yeah.
tracks, right? Because no one's gonna come
Yeah.
mess with them, and it's just an avenue for them to find some shelter, and man, it's one of the saddest things in the world to see so many people out there living in
You're getting my
nothing.
point. So if he's that disregarding to those people, what is this thought on the people that are locally
Yeah,
around him?
yeah, yeah.
Again, privilege. If it ain't affecting him, I honestly think he doesn't care. Humanity doesn't fall into his lap. He doesn't care about that part. He's probably just like, it's not affecting me. I don't drive by there. I don't drive by those places, and if I
Mm.
do, I ignore it.
I think
You know what I'm saying?
I think about the old Eddie Murphy movie Trading Spaces. I don't know if
Trading
anyone
places.
remembers
Trading places.
Trading Places.
Yeah.
Of kind of the flip flop of the two rich millionaire stockbrokers who end up broke and kind of switch places with Eddie. Eddie now
Yeah.
is in their place and they're living out on the
But
streets. But it's
I even got something else for you, though. What's
yeah.
crazy about this whole thing about that is he has the power to change that in Oakland.
Ooh,
He has the money and the things to change it in Oakland. He
yeah,
has
he
the money
does.
and the power to change it in the Bay Area, in San Francisco. He
Yeah.
does. I mean, he literally has the money to change it.
Yes.
Now, China, he may not have the money to change it because that's a whole government thing that he doesn't.
Right.
But he has the money to change those things.
He can do
that
something at home.
does-
He can do something at home. Yeah.
So you can miss me with all that apology stuff, saying that you feel like that way. If you do, like they say, put your money where your mouth is, right? Put your money where your mouth is. So, granted, he slipped of the tongue. He said some things that he wasn't supposed to, but I think he truly feels that way. And if he feels that way,
Yeah.
he needs help. He needs somebody to educate him, and hopefully he can get some help. He gets some help in
Yeah.
understanding humanity.
I can guarantee you that he really is not very remorseful just because, again, I was watching his Twitter feed after that. So he puts out this blanket statement, which you could tell was typed up by someone else, probably not even him. But everything else in his timeline after that was back to let's invest in these stocks. Let's things that just were, again, just weren't focused on trying to put this bridge back together that he's already tried to burn down. Let me bring up this comment here that was actually directed to you from Walter. It says, Montel, could this be a situation where we have a man who demonstrated poor judgment in what he said and not has to take responsibility for what he said? I think that's kind of what we were just talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, he should take responsibility. Like I said, he took a shot at it with his PR team to write a great statement. That was a great statement. I completely understand it. I'm not going to fault him for trying.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, like I said, your actions and your pocketbook makes a difference. That changes the way you think. If you don't like something or you're really empathize for something, you know what? Let's take a crack and let me make a change. Let me make something that I see these situations like that. Let me donate to women that have been raped.
Yes.
Let me donate some money let me fix that situation because I truly didn't mean what I said. Those things make a difference. They do make a difference, and I think you need to put your money where your mouth is, especially when you got that kind of money. It doesn't hurt you to spend whatever few dollars for you to help situations out like that. And I believe sometimes people have a slip of the tongue.
Yeah,
like we all do. I've had it before, slip of the tongue. But I'm also a person that I will tell someone if I have a slip of the tongue, I'm the first one to apologize and say I'm open to learn. Teach me what's going on, so I can next time I can make an educated statement instead of saying something stupid.
Yeah.
I guarantee that person, he's not like that.
Yeah,
he's not like that.
He's not more. He's moved on mentally. He's moved. It's not
Yeah.
affecting him, and he at his fancy dinner right now. And again, we're not being flippant about this. We're more right than wrong. I'm just gonna say we're probably more right than wrong on this. But
let's be real. Let's be real, James.
Well.
He ain't worried about us. He ain't worried about teams no sleep. He ain't worried about our comments.
Yeah.
He probably care less. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I mean, he needs to understand though that that's wrong, bro. It is wrong. And I mean, if for some strange reason in this world you lose all your money, you'll really feel how it is to be one of those people that need some empathy and need some help.
Yeah.
Need some understanding from folks.
Agreed. I told you folks we was gonna get into it. You thought we was talking hot about the coaches, but this one is a good one. Now I'm gonna put this man on the spot in the audience. Dana, professional athlete, ex-professional hockey player. We want to get you on here, man. We want to get your opinion talking about some of these issues. We want to hear your perspective again from someone who's been behind the scenes, who's been in the locker room from the professional perspective. So reach out to me, man. We definitely want to welcome you on the Team No Sleep to have this conversation about whatever issues of the week. So I'll put you on blast, brother. Just out here, out here. Let's talk about it. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Are we gonna lighten the subject? No, we're not. They're not so well. They're kind of social issues, but it's not as hard on the heart. But they're still rough here. French Open happening right now. Greatest player currently for tennis on the men's side. He's not playing. You don't want to get that vaccine.
Nope.
You don't want to get that vaccine. Joker said, I got medical exemption. I don't need this vaccine. I don't want it. I'm gonna go do what I do. I'm gonna be stubborn. Okay. I tell you what, them Australian folks, Prime Minister folks,
you don't want to get the vaccine. You can't come get this paper. And I respect every man's decision. His decision if he doesn't want to get vaccinated. But for us to have to cover a story like this, to me, it's dumb.
It's crazy.
The rules are you need to be vaccinated to be in the country. If you're not vaccinated, can't come. Period. It's that black and white. There's no wiggle room in there. You know what I mean? So
this starts messing. So this starts messing, and it's kind of like the Kyrie Irving thing a little bit, right? But this starts messing with his legacy, and it starts messing with his money, right? Because now he probably can't go play in the French Open as well, or he's going to have to quarantine for at least 10 days. I believe France has at least a 10-day quarantine for non-vaccinated folks. So as that progresses, right? So he can't play here. He can't defend his title in Australia. Mm-hmm. He can't. He's going to have to quarantine for at least 10 days since he's going to be unvaccinated to go play in the French Open. Okay. And he's going to want to go play Wimbledon. Well, they've got requirements and issues there. Certain places, if you come over here to the U.S. Open, well, we're not going to just let you in the door.
Hey, man.
With Delta and Omicron and all these other whatever they are. So now you're messing with messing with his money now.
Well, really, but it's his choice not to get it and mess with his own money.
Yep. It is.
Let's keep it 1,000. We're going to keep it 100. Let's keep it 100.
Yeah.
The rules are you must be vaccinated or you must be quarantined in certain situations or you're going to lose money. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving is a person, like you said, you brought up Kyrie Irving is going through that right now. He's losing money. They are refusing to pay any fines for him to play, except maybe when it gets to playoffs. But they're not going to do it. So that means the Nets are going to lose games and the fans are not going to come out. So the whole thing like that. With this gentleman right here, he knows the rules. The rules are you must be vaccinated in order to come play in these events. If you choose, your choice as a man, woman, adult, if you choose not to do it, then you choose not to participate. This is not a story that we even should have to discuss on anything. This is all about my choice.
Yes.
Choice rights, your choice to do what you want to do. No one's forcing you to get the vaccine. If you don't get the vaccine, you lose money on it. If you get the vaccine, you have opportunity to go play in these things and defend your title, defend your legacy. That's simple. Nothing else to be said about it. There it is right there.
Yeah.
We have a pandemic going on in the world, not the country, in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. The whole world is affected by that.
Well, because you have these beliefs or ideologies that you don't want to get it, then sit at home, spend those millions you already got, and relax and call it a day. Shoot,
Yeah.
That's the way it is, you know. But I mean, people. I mean, this thing is kind of getting way out of hand. The government has said this is doing. If the conspiracy theorists think it's the chip in our system, then we all chipped.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention we've been chipped because we all carry a cell phone. So it doesn't matter, man. All this stuff we do, we're at a part where this thing is helping us, and we see it saves lives.
Yeah.
We're going through this next round, and nowhere near as many people are dying than they did before.
Truth.
So I'm sorry for me to have empathy because you didn't get to go play in over there in Australia. Man, get out of here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. You can go somewhere else with all that.
Yeah. I mean, and the only reason we're talking about it is because of his stature from the tennis perspective, right? Again, best player on the planet, ranking and all and things of that nature. But yeah, it's a personal decision. He's doing it. He knows what it's going to cost him. Not just defending title, but I understand that Lacoste, so his primary sponsor, right, the clothing company, they want to have a conversation with him as well. Yeah. So this is going to start hitting into his wallet. It's going to start hitting him where it hurts eventually. I mean, he's comfortable now, but again, when you start those endorsements, those sponsors, that extra money, that play money starts getting affected.
I hope you invest wisely, brother, man. Bitcoin. That's what they say for the new ones.
That's where they're going now. That's where the cool kids are going over there in that crypto. So he better do that.
He'll be all right. He'll be all right, man. He'll be all right.
We'll see. We'll see.
I really don't. Yeah, I just don't feel. I don't feel that's even warranted the attention. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm less. I only kind of talk around Joker because I wanted to shine this. I want to give these flowers to Naomi Osaka for being back being back out there and winning.
Yep.
The fact that she's back out there doing her thing, defending champion. She won her first match without any problems. I think it's cute. I love the fact that she's out there. All athletes are super sisters. We are. And anyone who's played, you put your stuff on a certain way, you walk, you tie your shoelaces a certain way, you hit the bell or the banner as you walk, whatever it is. This story is about Naomi not wanting to step on the letters and the words on the court as she's out there playing. So I think that's pretty cool to see. I'm glad she's winning. I'm glad she's healthy. I'm glad she took the time that she needed to take care of herself. And I don't know if you got to see it as she just jumped over the words Melbourne there. I don't know if they'll show it. Very consciously steps over the words, and then she thinks she stepped over, so she goes back and repeats it. So look, she's a winner. This is the things that athletes do just to be to make sure they're in their zone. I love that. So I just wanted to share that story too.
I think the great story is that she's back. She's back with her mental health. She's obviously tackled that. She's an advocate, for mental health. So I've always applauded her for that. She stands on her own 2 feet. She does, she's made business decisions that would normally hurt a lot of people. She's been able to overcome those and do the right thing. This is more of a feel-good story to see her back and winning and good graces with the tennis world. So more applause to Naomi, and I hope she keeps on doing the big thing and taking over where Serena left off.
Oh yeah, she gonna do the thing. She gonna do so. Another slightly positive story that, and I don't know why I was so surprised by this. I think, maybe that's an issue that I have, but I'm pleasantly surprised by this. Let me put it to you this way, and I should be more retrospective of this. Alabama football coach, Mr. Nick Saban. Everybody knows Nick Saban. Come on now, he is the winningest man out there in these football streets from a college perspective. He's got all the rings. He is working with the West Virginia legislator to talk to Senator Joe Manchin to really start considering and start thinking about supporting that Freedom to Vote Act, really wanting to put some pressure on the two Democrats who are at a stalemate in terms of voting to relook at this Voting Rights Act. So, and again, I don't know why I was taken aback. I'm just pleasantly surprised that someone of Nick Saban's stature, again, Alabama, and then I don't want to be stereotypical, but again, Alabama, Nick Saban, and there's a lot of passion around that, and there's just a lot of history around that as well, and around that area. But I think this is actually pretty cool to hear that Saban is helping to champion this hopeful change of mindset for Senator Joe Manchin.
I mean, Nick Saban's kind of the spearhead, but we also can't forget to mention Jerry West.
Jerry West, yep.
Is also involved in this, as well as Daryl Talley, the former linebacker for the Buffalo Bills, and several other stars.
Yeah, old Paul Tagliabue, the old NFL commissioner.
NFL commissioner. So these powerful men and influencers are definitely, trying to make some change in the voting rights in that land, in that part of the country, to make sure, one, I think it brings great awareness. It's going to change, hopefully, the mindset of West Virginia, and hopefully that trickles down to other states. I mean, it's just great to see that Nick Saban and Jerry West, two icons that we know of.
Everyone respects him
in the NFL, as far as the front office, are really trying to make a change and bring some awareness to this issue, and actually ready to have a sit down with these powerful people in politics to be able to bring awareness and make a change, man. I mean, I think that's what we talk about, putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
They're actually out there trying to make a change and out there speaking on behalf of the people of West Virginia and making sure everyone has the right to vote and has the freedom to vote without it being scrutinized or being watched. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
and I don't know. I don't think I ever thought that Saban was not a man of character and not a man of quality and dignity. I mean, that's the mountaintop, right? When you start, if it was someone else, if it was like Debo, I mean, not Debo, what's my man over at Clemson? If it was him, if it was Debo, if it was one of them other coaches or somebody, just one of, or even Harbaugh somewhere, right? But when you get Saban to actually get up and say something, it's kind of like the old E.F. Hutton days, right? Somebody gonna listen. There I go dating myself again. A lot of these youngsters don't know what I'm talking about, but so I'm pleasantly impressed. I'm pleasantly surprised, and that actually really that makes me smile, right? Just again, that someone of his stature and his voice, because he's more powerful than a lot of other folks. A lot of folks on either side, left, right, or center side of the political side, and obviously on the sporting side as well. So he can go in there, he can pick up the phone, and he's got somebody in his Rolodex. He can make those phone calls. So I just really wanted to clear that up in terms of my thoughts about Coach Saban. So
yeah, it's a pleasure to see, like you said, some of his stature, some of his influence to be involved in politics, man. And not whether you're doing right or left, but what's right. Just you should have the right to vote, right? You should have the vote to be able to do, mail ballot or in person or however you want, and not be scrutinized or be covered or have somebody dictating how you're supposed to vote in any kind of way. You should have the right, your freedom to go. So for him to be involved in politics that way, just to doing the right thing, and not as a right wing, but right thing, just the right thing. I mean, man, that's cool, man. I think that's just cool that he's using his name and his power to do that. But again, like we just said before, man, that's putting your money where your mouth is. That's trying to invoke change with the power he has as a football coach and as an influencer in our country.
Love it. Great. And it's a win-win for him, right? Because he's going to benefit. Look, a lot of players, if they're not going to play for Deion, they're gonna go to Alabama, right? So he knows, and he's got the trophies in his suitcase to show that he knows what he's doing. And see, look at Walter Strong talking about Grandpa Hicks over there. Yeah, I'm bringing up. I got all this salt in the beard for a reason, but I've been around the sun a couple of times, so we gonna leave that alone.
That's wisdom, brother, man. That's wisdom,
man. That's all that is. That's stress. What that is. That's taxes. That's what that's tax season. Let's wrap it up, man. We got two more stories that we want to talk about. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this wild card weekend. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about these divisional championships happening. My Steelers are out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave that alone. Thank you, Ben, for what you did. I don't think we'll see you back. Coach Tomlin has talked about he's looking at next man up as well. So no one's expecting him to come. He's not coming back.
No.
I pray for them Dallas Cowboys because Dak knew he shouldn't have. He knew he shouldn't have ran that ball. Dak Prescott. But let me tell you something. No. So let me finish. Let me. He knew he shouldn't have ran the ball that long. He should have slid earlier, and he knew he shouldn't. He knows the rules. He knows he shouldn't have gave the ball to his center. You know that you gotta let the official touch the ball to reset the clock, and that's where they lost the time by like 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds, by giving the ball to your. You out there playing. You out there playing. Backyard football when you know you got these officials out here and the man has to put them hands on that ball to reset the clock.
I mean, the game should have never came to that point. Let's be honest.
Okay. So we Monday morning quarterbacks here. Monday morning quarterbacks.
I'm not going to judge someone by the last 2 minutes or so of a
2 seconds.
2 seconds of the game because let's be honest, I don't think they would have won anyway. I think they would have scored because he would have got out of bounds. He would just had they would have had a chance to take a shot at a Hail Mary, which doesn't really happen. But the bottom line, if you want to say whoa about the Dallas Cowboys, just talk about the first 3 quarters when they couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, they didn't deserve the win if they did win. I'll admit that. I'll say that too. Yeah.
Where was the Kellen Moore super offense? Super offense was great. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the play that changed the game, which they call it the Dwight Clark, the catch.
Yes.
The catch.
Yeah.
The Dwight Clark.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the no catch that hit the ground. There would have been a fumble that they would have recovered, and they would have been a scoring range.
Yeah.
Remember, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That one play where he didn't catch it, it ended up being an incomplete ball, and they got the ball back to get the first down. That was the biggest play of the game. If he would have caught that ball, and when Homeboy stripped him, and Dallas would have got it back, the whole game was changed at that point.
True. No, that's true. That would have changed the whole momentum. That would have changed everything.
That was a change of the game because Dallas had already just scored twice. They would have got the ball back again, and they were in scoring range again to go ahead and go back into the end zone. So those are the plays I look at that were crazy. But I mean, again, let's talk about Kellen Moore again. This great OC that was supposed to be great. You was disappeared for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah. You
had nothing. Zero was going on. 49ers completely figured you out and shut you down.
Pretty much did.
Yeah, so I don't feel sorry for Dallas. I know there was a Super Bowl or bust attitude that they had this year. They didn't have a Super Bowl team. Let's be honest with you. The running back, Ezekiel Elliott, is no longer Ezekiel Elliott that we used to know.
Yeah,
he's damaged goods, or he's just hurt, or I don't know what happened to him. But he doesn't run the ball like it is. He's not the great running back like he used to.
Yeah, his lifespan, I think, out there back there getting banged up is pretty much on the tail end. Yeah,
it's gone. I think Dak played. I thought Dak played pretty well. At least the second half, he didn't play that well the first half. He played pretty well the second half. I think they should bring that receiving core back. I think they just need to add a few more pieces in it. Dallas will be okay. They'll be back in the mix again next year. But for anybody to put that kind of pressure on themselves to say, championship or bust, you're setting yourself up for failure no matter what.
Yeah.
We never see the great Tom Brady say championship or bust. Tom Brady said we'll take it one game at a time.
One game at a time. Ooh, there you go, Tom. See, my man James Riley just came in, and he was happy for a minute. He came in with the West Side, and then he realized that we were heavily critiquing the decisions of them boys, and now he talking about he leaving. Man, stay around a little bit. He gonna get mad with this one question. So I'm gonna ask you guys both this question right here, and James Bradley gonna probably throw something at his computer when I ask this question. After the game, Nick Bosa did an interview, and he says, "I don't think them Cowboys is America's team. I think it's a San Francisco 49ers." What you think about that?
I don't argue with that now.
Well.
Matter of fact, to be honest with you, I would say Pittsburgh or the Raiders might be America's team.
Ooh. Now you're cutting deep.
If we go about fan base, then it is Dallas. Man, Dallas hasn't won in a long time. Let's keep it real. They haven't won a
No, it's
championship in a
true.
long time.
That's true.
So Nick Bosa, I mean, he's just taking a shot at him because he kicking them while they down.
Yeah.
I get it, but we're gonna talk about America's team. Dallas hasn't been America's team for a minute because they haven't won in a minute.
Yeah.
If America, if we talk about winning, let's go about winning. Patriots would be America's team.
They sure didn't. They sure didn't look like it. Boy, Belichick sure did get.
I mean, he got
but you're right. You're right. Yeah.
But I'm saying if we're gonna talk about winning over a long span of period, those would be America's team.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys put that niche on themselves and they put that target on their back. But for the last 10 years, they haven't been lived up to it. They just haven't lived up to it. I'm glad to see them back in the right. They're going in the right direction now.
Yeah.
But I mean, that America's team thing is kind of over it. I think football is just America's sport.
Yeah. I completely agree with you on that, and I'm glad we brought it up. I think they got some decent pieces. I think they can continue to progress and do better. I think Dak is going to be still the man in the calling the plays down the middle behind center. Ezekiel is I think on the tail end, he's still good, right? He's still a quality asset out there. He's a quality asset. I think he's not.
No, he's not. He averaged off of Denver. He averaged less than 4 yards per carry. He's not. He's not good. He's not easy. I don't know if he's hurt. Let's get it wrong. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if him losing that weight caused problems with him. I don't know what it is. Maybe blocking so much is taking a toll on him. I'm not sure what happened. But Ezekiel Elliott is no longer the player that he was. The backup guy, I think Gallup became the man.
Yeah.
And I think they need another running back. They need another workhorse because what Dallas has been proven, and it proved in that game. When Dallas doesn't rush the ball a certain amount of times, they don't win. They weren't able to run the ball that many times, and they didn't win. They need another workhorse in that backfield to help those receivers get open and run the offense the way they want to run it. My beef is not with any of that. My beef is with Moore. Kellen Moore, you're supposed to be this great offensive mind that everybody's been ranting and raving about, and you weren't unable to do anything for basically three and a quarter of the fourth quarter. You weren't able to do anything. Move the ball on them at all. So where's the great ingenuity of your offense that you're supposed to be this great guy?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see. Let's point the finger at that. Quit pointing the finger at the players because the players run the plays that are called. He called those plays and they didn't do it.
Yeah, you're not calling the trick plays like the Rams are, where you got Odell Beckham out there, catching touchdowns and throwing touchdowns too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sean McVay showed he had some offensive great ingenuity, and that's why they did the thing. Ingenuity, whatever, I can't pronounce the word right now. But Moore was supposed to be this great. I mean, we just saw it. He's the hottest ticket that's been coming the next head coach. Where was your offense for three quarters?
Where was your offense?
So
point blank.
Again, point the finger where the finger's pointed at. It needs to be pointed at. The OC was calling all those plays for the first 3 quarters, and nothing happened. Dak is still fine. We already knew Ezekiel Elliott wasn't playing up to it like he was before, but they were still winning. Gallup was hurt. I understand that, but you still had C.J. Lamb and Mark Cooper, and you had the receiving corps, and they still were able to do nothing. I think, like I said, Dallas has a lot of good pieces. They're going to come back strong. I think they just need a running back, and they need to get a little more depth on the offensive line. Maybe they can add another young receiver, another speedster to kind of go along with Lamb to stretch the field. Defense is pretty solid. They played pretty well. 49ers didn't score a lot over. I mean, they didn't score a lot of big plays. They just chipped away at Dallas's team. I think experience will take that away from them once the secondary gets some more experience.
Yeah.
The linebackers play a little bit more together. The line experience will help them take away all that stuff. And Dallas will be in the playoffs again next year, stronger and better than they were this year. I just think you can't put a target on your back saying it's Super Bowl or bust. Because when you do that and you lose, you're going to catch all the scrutiny that you're getting right now.
You set yourself up for failure. Man, we got the insider analysis coming from Mr. Montel Allen. And Mr. Riley, appreciate you for sticking in there, in the comments there. Zeke got his cash and is serviceable. Pollard is a better choice. Gallup is the wide receiver, while Pollard is the back of the Zeke. Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
Pollard,
right.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And then Cedric Wilson was a huge back as well. So I mean, pieces are there. Just make some changes, make some adjustments. Their coach will still be there. Was it McCarthy? I think right is out there.
Yeah, I ain't a big fan of his either. But he all right.
But he's not looking for it. Jerry not gonna let him go. Yet. But it has been a while. Let's talk about. So we mentioned Belichick getting roasted or getting flamed. That was just out of the blue. No one expected that. Um, we got on the AFC side. We got them Bengals and we got them Titans.
Yeah, and you know what? As much as I want the Bengals to win, but man, that Titans defense is vicious. And if Derrick Henry comes back
Wow.
healthy,
Derrick Henry
he
still has records and he hasn't played in months. that just proves how much of a bad man he is. The man is still on top of the rushing record.
I don't, that game, I don't even want to call it. I don't, like I said, I'm going to be rooting for the Bengals kind of on the side, but I hope the Titans is going to be tough to beat. That Buffalo Kansas City game is going to be something vicious because Kansas City has to go to Buffalo to play.
Yeah, it's going to be
cold.
That's
a whole different ball game.
It's going to be cold.
That's a whole different ball game. And if Josh Allen plays like he played, this might be a wrap for Kansas City. I don't know. That's going to be another good game, hard to toss.
Yeah.
On the flip side, in the NFC, the 49ers got to go to Green Bay in that cold weather. I'm interested to see how they come back, especially after that scare that Fred Warner had when he looked like he hurt himself.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's all right. He's healthy.
Yeah.
He's good. And then also the last game will be Tampa Bay
and the Rams.
And the Rams, which the Rams already beat them twice. It's going to be see if they can beat them a third time. But in Tampa Bay,
Tampa Bay, is Stafford really going? Is he going to step up and do what he's been the golden child to say? I know I'm feeding your words right now. To be honest, with you.
I still think he's. I don't believe it yet. To me. I mean, it'll be a story script if he makes it all the way to the Super Bowl. I'm just not a believer yet. Golf took him to the Super Bowl. I don't know if Stafford could do it yet.
No,
I really don't. His track record doesn't prove it.
No, I'm thinking that it's going to be actually Kansas City and Tampa Bay.
Woo!
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
you go with the safe bet. You go with the safe bet.
Mahomes is Mahomes can do some things, right? He can be out there throwing underhand throws.
I'm gonna throw you my two picks, man. Since we're gonna go ahead and go picks.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Buffalo and Green Bay.
All right. Well, in that matchup, I got to go with Aaron Rodgers, but because.
And believe me, I would love to see the 49ers and one of the Rams because I would love a California team to represent us in the Super Bowl. I would love it too. I just don't know if the Rams are going to be able to go over this hump because you got to think if the Rams do beat Tampa Bay, they got to go to Green Bay if Green Bay beats 49ers, which I think they will. No disrespect to the 49er fans. I just think Green Bay.
Well, Garoppolo's kind of banged up a little bit too, and then it's kind of a shorter week, so I don't think he's ready for all that.
I don't know if Garoppolo can pull the magic off again. I'm not believing on that yet.
No, but Deebo Samuels, if you make him just play all 11 spots, then you got a chance because Deebo was out there playing some ball.
You know what? Let me not take nothing away from the 49ers, and man, their game plan, man, that defense.
Look, they were one play away from winning it a few years ago. So they know what it looks like.
Yeah. So let's get there. I mean, I'm not taking away. I think they're gonna come in there and go to Green Bay, but Green Bay's had 2 weeks to prepare. They're healthy, big time. I think the Niners are a little bit beat up. I think it's Aaron Rodgers is at home. I think it's going to depend on which team get off to a good start. But we already know if it's 2 minutes left in the game, Garoppolo with the ball, I don't feel as comfortable if Aaron Rodgers got the ball with 2 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
And the game is on the line. So I'm gonna have to lean towards Green Bay. I'm gonna be rooting for the Niners. Normally I don't.
Yeah.
I don't really like the 49ers, but I really want a California team to kind of advance. And I hope them and the Rams kind of advance. But I mean, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good weekend of football.
I love it, folks. Put in your picks in the comments while I tee up this last story here. Who you think? Who's your team for these divisional playoffs? How about that? We won't even ask you to pick all the way for the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers has something to prove as well. Yeah, he does. He's been a little controversial as well with some things that he's done this season, but he's still playing at the highest level
MVP. I think he's MVP.
Yeah, right. He's still playing at the highest level after all this time, and he just plays so effortlessly. I mean, I love watching him play because it's like backyard football. All right, last story, kind of a funny story, and I'm wondering if you're gonna open up your wallet for some of this stuff right here. Tom Brady is just launched him some gear. Mike got Jordan. Who else got some gear, some decent gear that you just know?
LeBron got his brand.
LBJ got, he got his, the king. Tom Brady has come out with some T-shirts with his name on it. The T-shirt, not the hoodie, not the sweater, not the overcoat. The T-shirt is $75.
Him and Kanye must go to the same vendor, man. God.
The T-shirt is $75, and he just so proud to look. He over there talking about it. He's trying to, and then I mean, come on, brother. $75. Let's go to the website. I don't even know if the website is still up, to be honest with you, because he may have just felt like this is. Yeah, look.
It better be, $75, man. It better be a limited edition. Like, it should be only printed three T-shirts.
He better had signed it, and
yeah.
Okay.
A lot of money for a T-shirt.
Let's go right here to Brady brand and let's see what's going on. Okay. Like I said, let's go to T-shirt. There you go. Cool Touch short sleeve, $75, ladies and gentlemen. You can have it in. You can have it in Storm, Carbon. You can have it in, is that Bone? And I don't know what this is. They don't even,
lime green.
He don't
fluorescent lime green, man.
If you want to use some of these services for interest-free payments, if you don't want to pay $75 all at once, you can break that up. But he is.
He got financing on a T-shirt.
Yeah,
bro.
You got to finance his Cool Touch short sleeve T-shirt at $75. This man is crazy. Come on,
him and Kanye must have been discussing this. There's just no way he could have thought this was a great pricing point for a product. There's just no way.
Let's see. I'm a hoodie guy. His hoodie, $175. Yeah, get you some Yeezys and one of these hoodies. It's got his name on it.
Okay, you know what? Maybe I'm the one that's out of sync. Maybe I gotta make sure we drop some team no sleep gear.
Yeah,
we're gonna charge everybody $175 for a sweatshirt. Let's see who bites.
Okay.
I just don't see the pricing point, man. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I mean, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
We need to get with it, I guess, because he's selling underwear for how much is just a hat? With his name on it, $45. I don't want to walk around with his name on a hat.
Nah, man.
Look at that. I'm who gonna pay? Oh, I'm sorry. That one is $65. Come on, bro.
I don't know, man. Like I said, him and Yeezy must have the same distributor, because there's no way in the world that I'm paying them prices for that.
Folks,
there's just no way.
Yeah. Well, folks, if y'all balling like that, go to bradybrand.com and you can get you some gear.
If you balling like that, man, come contribute to Teams No Sleep for us so we can
let me go and throw the call to action up. If you balling like that, come give us some support, because it's greatly apprecited. And we're not asking $75 a hit, but we just love a share and a subscribe and a mention. But,
yeah, man. Wow. $75 for a T-shirt. Woo.
Yeah, he crazy. He crazy.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Riley said, them diehard Brady fans will pay it. He said, not me though. Them diehard fans, but putting themselves in lean on their home to walk around and
buy a great sweatshirt. Man, they crazy.
When I saw this, I couldn't believe it. I actually had to look over it again. But that's crazy talk, man. Look, good stuff tonight. Good conversation. We went deep into some things that needed to be gone deep into. I know, like I said, when I get back from the gym and I make my little Del Taco stop, I know I'm gonna hear Freddie Coleman talking about the exact same thing that we talked about and using the exact same words, and I'm gonna be so mad because I don't know where he lives, so I can't go throw toilet paper on his front door. But
It's all good. So, man, one last thing before we head on out, man.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to dedicate the show to my beloved brother Tim Wadholm, who passed away due to brain cancer. I love you. You're my best friend in the whole wide world. You know, rest in heaven. God got him another warrior.
Definitely, man. And my condolences to that. When I saw that, I definitely wanted to reach out to you, and I know I did, but I'm glad you brought that up as well. So, folks, that being said, reach out to someone close to your family. Say something, say hello, give him a hug, give him a kiss. Just don't be a stranger to folks within your sphere of influence, because that matters. You never know how much time we got left. So, Brother Montel, be good to yourself, and we out, brother.
Absolutely.
Later, mate.